Hey, in this video, we'll be looking at how to make use of our HTTP integration using our very own Rows API. So for that, I have a sheet 1 with some data here and a sheet 2, which is where we'll import data from sheet 1. Before we could dive in, let's go ahead and check out our developer docs too. The endpoint that we'd be using for this demo is get values from range. That's the endpoint that we'd use. To know more about how you can authenticate and authorize the API call, you can find that information here as well. Now, before we could make the API call, we'll also need the API key, and that's something you can find from your Rows dashboard here. Go to settings, Rows API, and then just click new API key. That's where we get the API key. And once we have that, we could just get started with making the API call. So the first step is to find the endpoint that we'll use. And for that, you can click on the more option from the existing table, go to Rows API and click on get values from range. That's the endpoint that we'll use. And I'm going to just paste that in here. Now, instead of the range B1:B1, I'm going to change that to A:(I) because that's the range we'd want to import. And for headers, we need to use these details here. For that, you can use our pair to JSON function. The key in this case would be the keyword authorization. I'm going to copy that and paste that in instead of typing it. And for the value, that's going to be bearer. That's the keyword space along with the API key here. I'm going to copy that and paste that into and hit enter. Once we have that, we can just go ahead and use our get request, which is equals get the action URL, which is sitting in cell B1, and the headers, which is sitting in cell B2, and you can hit enter. Once we have that, you can then click on the drop down here and then more and inspect data. And there you have it. So that's about 30 rows of data along with one header. That makes it 31. And that's the 31 items that you see here, which you can parse. Essentially click on this plus icon and place that object in another cell. B4, click add value. I'm going to also close this sidebar here. So once we have this, you can then convert this to a data table to make it look like so. And that's how you can essentially import data from one spreadsheet to another, and also how you can use the HTTP integration inside Rows. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching.